Hi Ilia,
Hello.
welcome to our little video interview.
Thank you.
So congratulations again for winning your second ISU Grand Prix final title.
Thank you so much.
Yes. So, and you and you did something nobody has ever done before. You went for 7 quads in your program and for all 6 different quads. What kind of a mental challenge was it to go for this amazing content?
I think I was just trying. I really wanted to challenge myself at this competition to see what I could do with technical ability as well as try to combine it with all the artistry that I've been working on the past few seasons. So I'm kind of pretty proud of myself for going out there and getting out there from start to finish. I know that there's a few things that I would work on when I come back, and as whether if I would to do that later again, I'd have to find that out.
Yeah, but is it mentally difficult to go for that, or?
I guess in a way it was. I felt more nervous in the free program than usual. I think that might have been a cause for that. So just preparing for the competition, that was my goal, just to try to see how much I could do, and I just spent all the days just training, making sure everything was as consistent as possible.
And how did that layout work in practice?
In practice, it was pretty good, but I tried not to do it so much. I always just stuck with doing triples, and then outside the program, I'd really work on trying to perfect that technique for the quads so that when I'd put it into the program, it'd be a lot easier to do.
You must be have been a little bit disappointed with that the judges were very strict, but maybe how does that motivate you to go forward and try even harder next time?
I think one thing that tells is kind of just skating can be skating sometimes, so you just kind of have to take it in and use that information that you get to kind of improve on yourself and to figure out what you can do better in the future. So from what I've learned from this competition was that they can get really picky with you, so when I go back, that's what I'm gonna try to make sure that there's no chance for them to kind of make those calls.
And what motivated you to go for that crazy content?
I think it was just one of my ideas before the Olympic season is just to see what I can get consistent and what I can start to kind of incorporate into my training to see how I can manage at the Olympics. But I think for the Olympics I might not go for all 7, but we will have to see when I get to that point. We'll see what layout would be the most comfortable and the most consistent while also keeping everything very nice and clean.
Yeah, exactly. Because you said that when I remember at the Worlds, we talked about how can you top that, because that performance was so extraordinary, and now you came up with something to top this. It's incredible, and you want always to push the sport and develop the sport. But you are not only technically, but you're also working very hard on artistry and creating unique programs. And you're very creative also outside the ice. So we have, for example, the show programs that you like to do yourself. Can you talk a little bit about how you create your show, what inspires you?
I think when I try to create a show program for myself, I usually want to come up with an idea that's very new and different from other show programs that people have done, or kind of just my own idea or replication of someone's idea of a show program that they have done before. So it's kind of trying to find what I can fit into my own style and something that I can come up with. First, I usually take the time to, turn the music and then just listen to it, even off the ice, just kind of move around and play around, see what I can come up with, and then try to transfer everything on the ice and play around with different moves and tricks and arm variations or different kind of tricks or movements. So I think that's kind of how it comes. And I think as I try to watch from other skaters and kind of other choreographers of how they do their choreography to kind of combine everything into one. Of what I like from all of them is to kind of have everything that I see that's very interesting and kind of combine all of those movements into, I guess, my own and add a little Ilia taste.
Have you ever thought of maybe making programs for other skaters?
I'm currently working on a show program for one of the skaters, and it's kind of it's in the works because of the crazy schedule I have, just competing all the time. So there's really no time to kind of get through it and actually make it good. So, I mean, I told him that it would take a little bit because I have to train and to compete. So, and he was okay with it. So it's going well so far, and he really likes it. And other people that I have kind of talked to, they find it very interesting as well.
Yeah, I think that's very nice, and it's also kind of gives you a different perspective when you do. How different is it when you do it for yourself or for someone else?
Yeah, I think it definitely, because everyone moves and everyone has their own, I guess, idea of. Not everyone does the same arm movements exactly the same. They all have something a little different that just makes them unique from each other. So I think that's also something that really makes skating stand out, is everyone moves and skates so differently.
And also, off the ice, you have created your own fashion line. Yes, so can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, the training outfits for the on ice is kind of just to represent me as a person. It's kind of those, the quad god. It's, whether it be the black and gold aesthetic, they're two of my favorite colors, or I'd rather be, the outfit with the four stripes. That's kind of the four rotations, and there's a lot of new stuff coming in the future, not only just on ice, but also I want to get into a lot of just kind of casual wear, and which I've already started, and just a lot of maybe try to become more of a fashion brand as well, or just a big brand where we'll have merch and fashion and just a lot of things.
Wow, that's so cool. How did you develop this idea? It's unusual.
It was just I thought about it, and I've seen that not a lot of skaters are usually going into this direction, but I think it can be something good for even ISU, just to see that a skater can have merchandise so that they can really push the sport to go out to other places and be like, wow, this skater has merch, and if they like it so much, they can maybe come to the competitions to buy it. So it's kind of that whole idea of it.
You said some other stuff is coming up. You would reveal what kind of stuff is coming up?
We're working on a lot more different products, whether it be, changing the design for maybe some outfits or making a more formal outfit. So we're still in the works of it. It's kind of a slow process, but we're slowly building it up, and hopefully it can be something big in the future.
Yeah, because I remember your interest for design, so this kind of goes into that. But also writing stories seems to be a hobby of you.
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty recent hobby that I pulled up now, so it's kind of something that I wanted to kind of just, it helps me for my creativity, and I think that it can also help for maybe making a future exhibition program to kind of have a story that I want to plan out, and then try to make that story into, I guess, a program or movements on the ice, to see how people will pick up on that.
So what kind of story would you like to write?
I think it's kind of like for me, the most interesting stories I like to write are kind of like more mysterious, and it's very, I guess, like something that makes you really think deeply about, I guess, who you are, or if we're even exist. So it's really kind of something, I guess, beyond what normal human would think. This is kind of that deep consciousness, really just kind of what are we, and how did we get here, kind of that idea.
So maybe then one day we will have a book.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe someday we can have a book by me, but I think maybe we're working on maybe a storybook, and then having a biography. So
cool. Yeah, Ilia, thank you so much. We wish you a lot of success moving forward, and looking forward to seeing you in further competitions this season.
Thank you so much.